All right, welcome, Cincinnati Bengals fans, back in Running Through the Jungle with strange love for you this evening. The Bengals preview show where we show some love to our opponents and see what they think about our upcoming matchup. I got our host, Tim Lyons, with me as usual. I'm your host, Brandon Harriet, and we have special guest, Damian Tate, football fan, Eagles fan, and a pretty good football mind. What's going on, Damien?
How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing good,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Doing good. We're spread out over the country now. I know you're in Ohio. I'm out here Western PA. We got Tim over near Seattle, so we're West Coast. So we're spread out around here, man. We are spread out around here. Excited about the upcoming game against the Eagles. Did I see something about the time got moved or flexed or something? Did you see that? Was it originally supposed to be a 4:30 game?
Yeah, it was.
Because I saw just a clip of Jamar Chase not knowing that it was changed to a 1 o'clock game. He said, wait, it was changed to a 1 o'clock game? He's like, he goes, I live under a rock. So I would have known if you guys would have told me probably. No one told me. So he had no idea. I don't know how that would affect any of his weekly preparation. Maybe sleep habits or something. But he's ready to go. He's a gamer. I'm not worried about Jamar Chase showing up or not. There's a few other people I worry about. But, so your Eagles are off to your Eagles are off to a 4-2 start. Man, looked pretty good last week. Starters did not play in the fourth. That's about all you can ask for in the NFL, right? We got some brotherly love out there. We got Tate Boy in the house saying, "Hey, fellas, what's going on, Tate? Thanks for tuning in." But listen, man, Damien, we'll get right into it. As far as what we got going on with our matchup here with the Bengals. My first thing, we normally start like our preview where we do with Bengals stuff with just our concerns about the matchup. So this is, when you look at the Eagles versus the Bengals, what on the Bengals side gives you a little bit of concern as far as the matchup or a key that you need to shut down, you think that's key to winning the game?
Big thing I think we need to worry about defensively is being able to stop the run. I know Cincinnati isn't the strongest of run teams, but our run defense is about middle of the pack, and we have been gashed for some big gains this year. Because I feel like with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T Higgins and the way that offense has been clicking the last say 3-4 games easy. I just feel like we if we can't stop the run game and Joe Burrow is able to get play action going and able to really get Jamar Chase and T Higgins involved into the game, could cause a lot of problems for us. A lot of problems.
So are you guys? You're seeing some longer runs is what you're giving up. Is that you're concerned about then that over 10, 20 yard gain kind of deal or?
Correct. If you watch against the we actually did pretty good against Green Bay, but if you watch our last couple of games, teams, I mean not against the Giants, but teams have really been able to control the ball against us. They've been able they it's frustrating compared to what we have had in years past.
Yeah.
We have a very young defensive line. Fletcher Cox retiring. Our linebacking core is not that much improved from last year. Um, our defensive back, it's probably our strongest area.
Mhm.
But you know, right now we just got some issues we need to fix. Vic Fangio needs to shift some things up.
Well, my favorite nickname right now in the NFL, Fangs. I love it. I love Fangs. It's a great one. Um, yeah, Fletcher Cox. can't understate what not only what it meant to the defense, but just from a play standpoint, but what he meant is from a leadership standpoint. Teaching those younger guys, how to become real pros. That stuff's invaluable, man. Fletcher Cox was a beast.
Oh,
One of
correct.
one of my favorite Eagles of all time. One of my favorite Eagles of all time. My favorite would have been a safety. So
Brian Dawkins.
Dawkins was a bad dude. I liked him. Tim is the resident run the damn ball guy, so he would like to expose that, I'm sure, right?
Oh, I'd love to. I see that the Eagles are I think 15th in the league in run defense or something like that. I think you guys have I think it's like an average of 111 yards from what I was looking at, a game. So that's not too bad, but I think the last time that we played you guys in 2020, you guys kept Joe Mixon at bay. You sacked Joe Burrow 8 times, and we still ended up 23-23 game. So I've said on Running Through the Jungle yesterday, my major concern is your guys' defense, but also that Saquon Barkley plus Jalen Hurts and Brown and Smith, that if we can contain and make Jalen Hurts make mistakes on his own and not have to force them to happen, I think we'll have it'll be a good game, but our rush defense has not been the best. Our run game really hasn't been the best. Last week, Chase Brown had, 30, 40 yards last week, and it was averaging 2.5 yards a carry. It was god awful. But then all our other
2 good runs he had got called back because of penalties.
Called back for holding. Yeah, for holding. And that happened to us against the Giants the week before too. With the defensive holding from Volson as well. But if the Bengals they're pass heavy. They're pass heavy. This is like Captain Obvious here. We're a pass heavy team. We might run the ball 15 to 20 times, but can we get those chunk yards against you guys? Hopefully, but you guys have a good defense, so we'll see.
We go around, do the same thing. There's 3 of us. Justin's not here. He's normally sitting in your seat here. And we talked about the concerns, and Tim went into, pretty deep dive about your getting pass rush on us and things like that. And he went in, Justin went in a deep dive about the run game and us stopping the run. It got to me, and I just said, Saquon Barkley. That's my biggest concern, period, point blank. We got Tape Boys here agreeing. He said games comes down to Saquon going off for the Bengals stopping him. I couldn't agree more. Saquon, when healthy, is one of the best backs in the league, bar none. And so far, so good this season as far as he looks real healthy right now.
He really has. He's looked good this year, and I'm kind of surprised at not at the number of times we're giving it to Saquon Barkley, but I really expected us to use Saquon Barkley to open up read option and things for Jalen Hurts to really get his legs running and moving in the offense. But so far we haven't really needed to do so. 4-2, like I said, we'll take it.
And do you think that that's kind of to me anyway, I would think a little bit of a bonus, an added bonus, not having to run Jalen Hurts, because he didn't look right, the last half of last season. He definitely had some nagging injuries of some sort, didn't quite look like himself. So by being able to rely on Saquon, maybe you let him get his sea legs under him, finish the year strong. I think that's what I would be hoping for if I was an Eagles fan.
Oh, absolutely. We're definitely setting the precedence of we are definitely going to pound the rock with Saquon. That's going to be our number one option. But then it flows off of that. Jalen Hurts, read option passes off of that, play action passes off of that. Because as an offense, that's our bread and butter. That's what we want to stick to. We want to stick to running. We want to stick to play action. We want to stick to read option. I think even though we have a lot of playmakers and AJ Brown and Smith, I really believe we are not at our best when Jalen Hurts is having to be a drop back quarterback, finding the hole, reading the defense, and delivering the ball.
Yeah, listen, play action pass with A.J. Brown. If you get him running one-on-one, that's a tough matchup for anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, definitely worth all the money. I bet Tennessee is definitely kicking themselves, especially with how they just released who they thought was going to be AJ Brown's replacement, or traded him away, should I say?
Yeah, and Calvin Ridley's not doing a whole lot there either.
No,
Correct. But a big part of, not to get off subject, but the big part of that is also quarterback play.
Football is our subject, man. Football is our subject.
Okay,
Sure,
understood.
For sure. We will talk about anything football related. We really get into diving into our teams, our matchups. We'll talk a little bit about how you view your Division II if we have time here at the end. But yeah, if we're talking football, we're talking football. We're happy. Tate wants to know what the spread was. The last I saw it yesterday on DraftKings, it was 2, which
this morning,
mind-boggling. I did not think we would be favored.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we are getting 2.5 points as of this morning.
Yeah, it's wild to me. ESPN has it up to 3, and I don't know why. I watch the teams. I look at our records. Our defense has played better the past 2 weeks, right? But our offense has played worse. Our defense playing better. Both of our teams have played the Browns and the Giants in their last 2 games, just in different orders, right? You Giants last and then Browns, us Browns last and then Giants. They'll make your defense get right real quick. That's the fun about those 2 teams. But our offense being sluggish against them is kind of mind-boggling. We blamed it a lot on the coaches, but I digress on that. So before we hit our first break here, our break, opportunities. When you see this matchup, where do you think the Eagles can take advantage of some things for the Bengals here and really impose their will and try to win this game?
I honestly think that it will be the running game. Saquon, we gonna go as Saquon Barkley goes. I look for him to have a big game. I really feel like we can win some matchups on the outside with AJ Brown. His size and speed and strength. It really does just imposes itself on the defensive backfield. And then once everyone is looking for AJ Brown, that's when we usually like to sneak something into Smith going across the middle and let him run 65 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah. Tim, do you think I know you were complaining about him a couple weeks ago, but do you think this is looking at our defense and how it stacks up? Is this a game where you see Cam Taylor-Britt following A.J. Brown? Because I don't like the physicality of A.J. Brown lined up across from D.J. Turner.
No, I don't like that at all. Like I said before, this offense, the Eagles' offense is going to be a true test to our Bengals defense. To see if we actually have turned it up, or was it because we were playing against the Giants and the Browns? CTB, Cam Taylor-Britt versus A.J. Brown. I don't like that matchup because A.J. Brown is a big physical wide receiver. And maybe, with Cam Taylor-Britt's speed, he'll be able to keep up. But when it comes to getting physical, I don't know if he can handle that. Maybe they have DJ Turner on him a little bit more. Or somebody. Cam Taylor-Britt. Who
else are going to put across from him? I think DJ Turner. We drafted him out of Michigan last year. He was the fastest in the draft, not the worthy year the year before.
Yeah.
So to me, his matchup, little slider build, is with Devontae Smith, right? So I think he's a better matchup. Now, listen, I think Cam Taylor-Britt takes some chances, and he'll make a great play like that one-handed catch down the sidelines against Kansas City, and then he'll just get demolished one or two plays a game, and we just hope that they don't get completed. Really, take some chances.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. Like this, our cornerback play right now versus AJ Brown. And I'm not saying that AJ Brown is, Randy Moss out there, but he's a physical wide. Yeah, but he's a big physical wide receiver, and that's a big concern. Can Cam Taylor-Britt or Turner or whoever step up and help support whoever's on him, maybe safety support or something, or even with Logan Wilson or Jermaine Pratt, guarding the middle of the field, maybe on those plays. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't have that much faith.
Damien, do you look at AJ Brown as a top 10 receiver in the league?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm top 10. I'm going to say top 5.
You think he's, I got him somewhere around 5'6" area, somewhere in that area, I think.
Okay. Well, just trying to go quick off the top of my head, you got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, I really don't think of anyone that I would put above AJ Brown outside of those two definitively.
CD, Tyreek.
Tyreek
look like
Tyreek is fast. Tyreek is fast. They're two different types of receivers. CD Lamb definitely worth every penny that Dallas is paying him. I like the size of AJ Brown. Speed wise, I think CD Lamb might have a little advantage, but I think the size of AJ Brown and his jumping ability kind of offsets that. So, I could argue CD Lamb, but I'll give it to you, Jim.
I think you're right. I think he's right in. I think he's in there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is somebody I put in the top 5.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yes.
I think you're right. I think Tyreek's 30 as well. And that's
correct.
The speed game starts getting a little trickier after 30.
And with the Dolphins having such a down year right now, and I don't know if it's quarterback play or if it's just the Miami Dolphins right now, Tyreek, if we look at his whole career, he's definitely a top 5. But right now, I'd say, I'd give it to Damien. I think AJ Brown's 5, and then Tyreek Hill at 6.
I think he might be 4.
Yeah, definitely top 5. But definitely top 5. I agree with you.
Well,
he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
We knew this was only going to be a matter of time.
I know, right? Tomorrow we're playing. Tomorrow we're going to play.
It says, Madden. When are Tim and Damien going to play that game again? CFB 25 or Madden?
Madden this time, I think.
He's just always stirring up something. He's just always stirring up something.
He ain't got nothing better to do besides stir the pot.
It's good to hear you're feeling better. That's nice.
Yeah, with more energy that Kevin's got as he gets better comes more stirring and instigating.
Yep.
That's for sure. The opportunities I was interested in, and I pointed out with the Bengals versus the Eagles. I kind of want your take on it. I looked at what team I thought was most similarly built to ours. 2 very good wideouts, good quarterback play. So let's call it fair running back room. And Tampa Bay. Now, you gave up a lot of yards to Baker Mayfield in that game. Was there a reason why? Was there injuries? Was there just great play on their part? Like what did you see in that game? Because I'm sure you watched it.
I'm gonna give Tampa Bay their credit. They made the plays they had to make, and they capitalized on the opportunities that we gave them. But as I have said from the beginning, and no shock to Browns fans, but we're talking football. My quote 4 years ago was, "I believe in Baker." I felt like the Browns should have Shouldn't have let him go, especially in lieu of what they gave up to get Deshaun Watson.
Whew.
Because Baker Mayfield, he was improving. He was showing good leadership. He was making good tight throws. Much as he's carried on and is doing for Tampa Bay right now. I mean, the way he's able to just stand in there and let that ball rip and find Gobson, how he hits him over the middle when they decide to play shell defense, and then when defenses bring up that corner, then you hit Evans on the deep post. I mean, it's going to hurt that Evans is out, but
Yeah.
I really believe that Baker can keep it steady there in Tampa Bay. But I just like I said against us, he made the plays he needed to make, and I got to give them the credit.
Not only is Baker looking, and it made me sick that Godwin got hurt at the end of that game with a dislocated ankle. Man, that was terrible. I wish he would have never been in that situation. But Baker's playing, in the conversation MVP, like he's on the fringes, but you got to mention him. And you look at what quarterbacks are getting paid now with Sunshine down in Jacksonville getting $55 million. Baker Mayfield looks like the biggest bargain in the NFL right now at 28.9.
Yeah.
Like that's a great signing for 3 years for Tampa for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see though in the next 2 years. Do they draft somebody if they have the opportunity and let them sit? Like where their heads at with that going forward, or just keep riding with them? That'll be an interesting one. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, Damien, we're gonna give you a chance to ask us some questions, whether it's about the Bengals, the AFC North, how it's like working with your brother on a regular basis, whatever you'd like to get into. We'll get into that right after these messages from our sponsors. And welcome back with the Running Through the Jungle crew and special guest Damian Tate, talking about the Eagles preview. And now it's your turn to flip the script on us. Damian, go ahead and shoot from the hip. Ask some questions about whatever you want. Mostly Bengals related. Outside of that, we're not really. We don't know much.
Okay. I really feel like how do you feel your offensive line will stand up against the Eagles defensive line and be able to protect Joe Burrow this Sunday?
So I'll start with this. Tackle play, right? Orlando Brown Jr. went out of the game last week. Sore knee / calf. I guess it's a calf strain that's high. It goes up into knee pain. But it's mostly caused from the calf there. He has been not practicing or limited practice. I'm not confident in him coming back this week. That side will concern me, the blind side of the left tackle position. Amarius Mims, 3 weeks ago, had a couple of bad blunders. Got caught looking back into the ball, and the edge rusher went right past him and got a sack. The past couple weeks, he's been pretty solid, better and better. Especially last week, I thought he did a really good job. Myles Garrett came over, and he roams around, and he lined up from him a couple times and didn't get a pressure. In the times that he got across the middle. So I feel better about them. That interior offensive lineman, what's the young man's name from Georgia?
Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis?
Carter. Carter's the one that I'm a little concerned about. And listen, I hate to pick on the guy because I know he's Tim's favorite Bengal, but Volson has not looked Tim Tim might have picked on him about 3 or 4 times this year already.
Yeah, I have.
He let him know, like, he hasn't looked good, right?
Yeah, Volson, he's just, ever since we drafted him, um, you know, Joe Mixon made this comment that Volson was a future Hall of Famer, because he was blocking good during, practice or whatever. So he has his games. There's his games where he's, he does good, and then there's games where he's holding or he just gets blown up. And we've seen the last 2 weeks he's gotten called on really good plays of holding, and they come right back. I don't know if he's a little slower. We have some big guys on that offensive line. You can't expect somebody that's 6'6", over 300 pounds to move like he's Tyreek Hill out there. So but it's been an issue with Volson. Like Brandon was saying about Orlando Brown. I about called him OJ Brown. I don't know why, but for Orlando Brown, my biggest concern is if we end up putting Cody Ford out there next to Volson,
it's a weak side. Yeah,
that's a weak side, and you guys could crash that left side of the field like it's going out of style. But Volson has been an issue, and we can only hope he gets better. But this offensive line is better than what it's been in the years past. I can end it at that.
I think we've had good play at center.
Yeah.
We've pass protected better than we have in the past few years. But there's still, 2, 3, 4 times a game, it looks like a jailbreak right up the middle over our guards.
Yeah.
Whether it's Kappa or Volson. I would say probably 65-35, it's going to be Volson. But that's a concern when you got some big boys that you got in the middle of that. I think that's your strength right now. Listen, you can see the Michigan stuff in the back. I'm always going to say nice things about Brandon Graham, but outside of that, I mean, your defensive tackles are a real concern with me as far as getting up the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're still learning. We're still mixing in different styles of blitzes. But remember, this is the first year that we're actually officially calling Sweat and Graham linebackers. Yeah, they've actually officially we revamped. We're now a 3-4.
Officially 3-4, yeah.
Yep, we're officially the 3-4, anchored by Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. He's on one of our ends. Um, I we're unproven, so I like that. I believe we can get pressure with just our 4 against the Bengals defense, um, which we'll have to do because obviously I don't care what kind of slow starts he gets off to. Joe Burrow is that dude, okay? And if y'all can protect him and we can't get any pressure on him, he's gonna tear our defenses apart. Especially in particular, Iskauskas, how do we say his name? The your slot receiver?
Yoshua.
Yoshua, especially Yoshua, because I like Darius Slay. He's an all elite corner. I don't think anybody's really going to hold Jamar Chase, so we'll have to scheme against that. But I really feel like if we can't get pressure to Joe Burrow and he gets opportunities to pick our defense apart, Yashofa and Brown and
So here's the easy way with Yoshivash. Everybody calls him Yoshi.
okay,
It's
Yoshi.
it's the cheat code, man. Yoshi. The little green dinosaur figure from Nintendo days is Yoshi.
Okay, all right, because I can really see Yoshi hurting us big time going against our safeties and slot corner. Um, the inside of our deep, like I said, outside of Darius Slay, we're really improving, and our linebacking core is weak. And Joe Burrow can really expose some matchups if we can't get to him.
Well, and there's been a lot of buzz right now just in Bengals Nation as far as, Yoshi had 1 target last game. and that he trusts him in the red zone, throws him touchdowns all the time. We expected him to have a little bit more involvement in the offense earlier in the year when T was he was out with a hamstring injury. Yoshi and Mike Gesicki were very involved, rotating in to that slot. We even saw Jamar Chase come in the slot and do some slot things. I don't know why we don't see that. We need to see those more often. Those guys rotating more. Like, it's just very vanilla. Our offense has been very vanilla for about 4 weeks, and I really want to see them starting to get back to what they were doing, changing up who's where, and getting Yoshi the ball would be a great start for us. I think Tim and I would be ecstatic about it for sure. But there's a lot of buzz right now just within the Bengals fandom about getting those guys done.
Yeah.
All right. So how crucial from a Bengals standpoint do you see this game as being towards your season?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
We're 3-4 right now. You know, we have to get to 500, and we, I tell my wife, she's not a big football fan, so when she hears me spewing off the mouth and being pissed off about the Bengals losing as many games as we have, and I had to explain to her, I said, if we lose, we can literally only afford to lose two games, maybe 3. I said, but these games are just so crucial week by week by week. And this is one of them. But also, though, the Bengals also need to make a statement on the offensive side of the ball, because that offense has been playing in first gear. They've been stuck in first gear for the last couple of weeks. But that defense also needs to be really proven. Like, did they flip the switch, and are they a better Bengals defense? If Joe Burrow and that offense gets cooking, and that defense has been playing like it has been for the last couple of weeks, it could be a totally change of the tide for the Cincinnati Bengals of how we can possibly look down future weeks. I
mean, to me, it's vastly important because I have a futures bet of over 10.5 wins. So I can't afford more losses, Damian. But when you look at our schedule here, right? We got you guys, we got Vegas. We should handle business. I say that, but we also played New England the first game of the year and did not handle business there.
Right.
So we should handle business there. And we can't be 4-5 playing Baltimore at Baltimore, because Baltimore would love to do nothing more than put a stake in us. But you look at some of those games, the Steelers, we got Steelers twice. We got to go out to Dallas. A couple of them are rough. And I think Tim hit the nail on the head. 10-7 probably gets us, into the dance at least in the AFC. In the NFC, a little tougher. The middle of the pack in the NFC is a little bit dicier in my mind. I think the AFC is a little more top heavy, and there's a gap. That second or third tier is a little congested with below expectation play right now, and I think the Bengals would be waving that flag. I don't know. Where do you see your guys' NFC North? I think the Commanders have been a really good story and a surprise as far as being ahead of the curve with quarterback play and whatnot. But where do you see your biggest opponent there in the NFC North?
Well, you're right about that with the Commanders and
that's the East
quarterback play. But I don't know if Kingsbury might deserve more credit, because they still looked real good even after Daniels went down in the first quarter last week.
Yeah.
Mariota did look pretty good.
Yeah, he really
I
did.
said North,
really
I meant
did.
East. I got North on the mind because of their records. My apologies. 5-2 gets you in third place.
The East is going to be competitive, and I feel like it's really based on how we play as a team, and if we can get our act together and start playing the kind of football like we were playing back in 2022. If we can do that, and we can um, tighten some things up with our linebacking core on defense, I really like our chances to come out of the East. As of right now, I know the Commanders are looking like the best team, but one thing what a great team. But the one thing I always say about teams when they come out the gate and this is their first year having success, they're due for a letdown. That's when you may have a team that has been 12-4, 12-5 throughout the regular season, then get put out in their first round by somebody just because you have to be proven. Um, as far as Dallas go, well, we all know. Well, people don't know how I feel about the Cowboys. That's how I feel about the Cowboys. But if I
That's
have to
how
be completely,
everybody feels about the Cowboys, Davey. Come on, man.
but if I have to be completely objective, just like I believe in Baker, I still believe in Dak. Dak's gonna need to earn his money. And when you're making $60 million a year, I don't want to hear excuses about why you're not getting the job done on
Mhm.
offense. I'm not going to hold them accountable to what goes on and what their deficiency are on defense. But I don't. When you're making $60 million a year, I don't want to hear uh, your only weapon is CD Lamb. Patrick Mahomes is making it happen with less.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want. I don't want to hear that. Well, if he had a running game and could set up play action, that would make him more successful, like in years past. Well, he's a $60 million man. He's expected to
Figure it
stand
out.
back there,
Yeah.
figure it out, read the defense, and make the play to an average receiver. Um, I believe that. I believe that can do that. So in that sense, I am going to still give the edge to the Cowboys to be our biggest competitor, finishing number two in the division behind us, with Washington and New York, well, bringing up the rear as usual.
I would give Dallas the benefit of the doubt in regular season. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going on with them when they get to playoffs, but man, do they shrink. I also look at some of the things I see off the field uh, during the game where things CD Lamb saying to Dak and their body language with each other is not good. And I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of money between those two guys got paid out. They need to figure that out, hash that out, not do that. Like, for you're doing it on TV, national TV, 4:30 game. Stop it. It looks ridiculous. Um, I don't know, man.
right.
I think Washington. I don't know. I like Washington. I like Washington. I like what they're doing over there. They do have some injuries on defense, though. We'll see if they can manage that. What about you,
I
Tim?
like
Who do you like in that division?
So I want to first address I am not 4'7". I am 5. I am 5'7".
Davey,
Thank
there's
you
some
very much.
shenanigans going on
You
in
know,
the
Brand likes
comment.
to
That's a
Brand likes
type.
to
That's
run his
just a
mouth.
typo. The 4 and the 5
Uh-huh.
are right beside of each
Yeah.
other. It's just a
Yeah.
typo.
Anyways, but no, I do like the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders are looking good. Jaden Daniels, though, my concern is that rib injury
That's
right
the
now.
best comment though. Yikes, that's short.
But anyways, Jaden Daniels' rib injury is one thing that I am concerned about because if you have had a rib injury, which I'm sure all of us have in here, it causes shorter breath. It hurts when you throw a ball. Twisting and turning. It can cause a lot of discomfort and make it difficult to throw the football. So, is Jaden Daniels going to be present on Sunday against? I forget who the hell they're playing. I can't remember. But anyways, is he going to take a week off? Kind of because that ribs they don't, they only heal with rest. So but Jaden Daniels is having a great year up for a rookie. He's playing great ball. Kingsbury is he's doing good. From going from the Cardinals and Kyler Murray to the Commanders, it's like night and day. But one thing I did want to ask you, Damian, is so your guys' offensive line. I know you guys had one of your tackles could get placed on the IR. What's his name? Hell Nada or
Ooh, that's right.
Nada.
Commanders and Bears play.
Yeah, so I know,
Yeah,
and I know,
they do play the Bears.
and then you had Becton go out with a concussion last week. Do you have any concerns with your offensive line versus our defensive line and our defense?
Uh, I have concerns. Obviously, Becton Becton being questionable for Sunday's game is troubling. You know, I like how Cam Jurgens has stepped up and has, as of right now, based on what I've seen from our offense, we really haven't felt the loss of Kelsey as of right now. So I kind of like how he's stepping up. Lane Johnson and Fred Johnson. I mean, they're still studs. Like
Yeah.
the y'all defensive line. I mean, so let's see, what do y'all rank against the run? 130 yards, something like that. If I got
Not
it right.
good.
Like
21st against things.
21st.
So
Yeah.
so what I really think we need to
By the
do
way,
is
that's
to
a
really
10 spot improvement over last year, Damian. That's a
Yeah.
Hey, I like people who look at the glass half full. But I really feel like it will be key for us to be able to run the ball early, allow them offensive linemen to fire out of their stances and go hit somebody versus dropping back to allow the rushers to come at us. Um, um, I really feel like a big part of it is going. Jalen Hurts needs to help the offensive line out by making quick decisions, getting rid of the ball, um, and not holding on to it like he's been known to do throughout his career.
well,
Um,
guys that have that confidence in their ability to A, escape the rush, and B, make a play downfield, a lot of times do that. Like Joe Burrow does it quite a bit. Uh, Lamar does it, but no one can tackle him. Big Ben used to do it a lot. He had a lot of, held onto the ball too long. Like it's kind of comes with that playmaking ability sometimes.
oh no, it absolutely does. And when we had a top uh, an All Pro offensive line last year, you can get away with that more. And it didn't even and because of other reasons, which I won't even get into right now, as far as scheme and stuff like that. We didn't perform as well as we should. But in this sense of where Becton might be out, we um, we still rebuilding from Kelsey having retired. I feel
Right.
like we need to do these little things to try and ensure that we're giving the offensive line, we're setting them up for success.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Damien, you got any more questions for us?
Um, I'll tell you what. I'm really thinking. What is your official prediction for Sunday's game?
That was the next one where we went. I will tell you, Justin, in our, you didn't get to meet him on here, but in our running through the jungle on Wednesday night, he went through how, there's a signature win, there's a signature you go out, and he was talking about how we came out and really dominated, the Titans in 2020 or 21, and we dominated this team and we dominated that team. Man, he got me. So I started getting fired up, Damien. I thought he was going to come out here and be like, "We're going to beat the Eagles 38-7." Like I thought he was, and then he predicted 31-29 on a late last second field goal. I was like, yeah, it is not dominating at all. It's kind of lucky. I predicted, and I said this with my chest out. I said, I predict this because I'm a homer. Period. What do you want? What do you want me to do? I've learned from the best. I work with Big G every week. I took the Bengals 28-20 over the Eagles. I said there's going to be some turnovers, a little bit of sloppiness here and there from both teams. I think we end up pulling it out 28-20. Tim, do you remember your prediction?
Yeah, 27-24 is what I picked. And the reason why I picked that is because, one, you're playing in Cincinnati. Two, it's a whiteout game. Everybody in that whole stadium is going to be wearing white. This is a big game for us. Excuse me.
What? I think the fireball got him.
Yeah, I'm
Boy.
sorry. But this is a big game for us. And, I think Justin was kind of leaning the right way where, this is a statement game for us. If we can beat the Eagles. But the thing is I have it close, being that close game. I think we're going to cover the spread, 27-24. It's Saquon Barkley that I'm like really worried about in our defense.
Very.
So, and this whole, but not just that, but your offense all in general. So yeah, so I wanted to keep it close. Field goal game, 27-24.
It'll be a litmus test for sure for our defense. I'm not confident in my prediction whatsoever. I was very surprised that we were actually favored in this game. To be honest with you, I would not bet this game whatsoever. What tipped me, the scales over for me, Joe Burrow really hasn't had a good game in the past 2 games. I don't see Joe Burrow not having a good game for 3 straight games. I'm just playing the odds. He's going to have a good game in my mind. So that's where I went. So let's hear your prediction, man. Stick your chest out. Tell us why the Eagles are going to blow us out.
I really don't see a blowout. I see more a shootout, high scoring, because, like I said, our defense has holes in it. And like you just said, I don't see Joe Burrow having 3 straight games. Joe Burrow is fearless, so that could be an advantage to us if he decides he wants to try Darius Slay too many times. But when you're throwing the Jamar Chase, that kind of offsets it. Like I said, I see us being able to run the ball. I see us being able to move the ball offensively against the Bengals defense. I like our matchups in the secondary. I like our ability to be able to move the off my line of scrimmage. But then at the same time, I'm a believer in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the playmakers that you guys have. I'm going 31-27 Philly.
All right. Well, let me see here. The over-under is 48. You made a compelling argument. You may have just cost me some money. We're going with the over, Damien. We're going with the over. I'm in. Life's too short to bet the under. Listen, I do see that. The matchup is, I think the matchup is going to tell rather this defensive line, which we've redone from last year. We got BJ Hill, Rankins. We got the young kid, Chris Jenkins out of Michigan, rotating some guys in. We're going to see if they can stand up, man, for sure. Like, this is going to be a big test for them, I think.
Huge.
So, yeah, this is our litmus test, man. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm excited to have a 1:00 game with this much at stake and 2 good teams playing for sure. So, listen, best of luck to you. I hope you guys have a really good game, just not quite as good as us. Tim, any parting shot?
I just want to tell Damien, thanks for joining us on this crossover. Philadelphia Eagles and the Bengals. We don't do very many of these shows, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I really do appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow on the Madden fields, my brother.
Yes, sir. No, thank you for having me.
Any last parting shots? You want to do any fly eagle fly stuff or anything like that?
You just took it from me. You do it so much better than me. You know, you gotta get the arms just a little bit higher. You
I,
know.
rotator cuff. Rotator cuff. I used to pitch. I don't know if I'm gonna do that anymore, man. I don't
Oh,
know. If I'm
okay.
gonna do it. But hey, no, all kidding aside, listen. I'm the reason why we named this Strange Love. The hate that I see some fans treat other people with, and the way people get yelled at, throw stuff at. I've never understood that whatsoever. It's literally the reason why I became a Michigan fan living in Ohio. But that's a long story. But to me, it takes two teams to play the game. Like, I'll give me a little shit. I'll give you a little bit back. But at the end of the day, you know, we're just football fans watching football.
Amen.
That's what it's about, man. And I think we're going to see a really good game Sunday at 1:00. Eagles versus Bengals. Tune in for it. Damian, thank you again. Everybody that's tuning in, please like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share, tell a friend to tell a friend before you check out on us. And we will be back with the Roaring Reactions. Not on Sunday, on Monday. I gotta celebrate the new fiance's birthday, so not on Sunday. It'll be on Monday. So enjoy. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I'm very blessed. But enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you back here at the Roy Reactions on Monday. And we out.